Welcome, and welcome back to another video. Today you are watching Real Nursing Conversations with your host, Keisha. So in today's video, we are going to be discussing 5 things that you could do to help you dominate as a nurse. So yesterday I did a short form video, and I did explain in that video that I'll be back on today to just kind of elaborate on the 5 things that I spoke about in that video. Okay, so if you want to learn some tips that you can do to help you dominate as a nurse, continue watching. Okay, so today is September the 7th. I hope you all are having an amazing day today. Thank you all for joining me and watching the video. If you are not a subscriber here to Real Nursing Conversations, please consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you are notified anytime I upload a video, you guys. But let's get into these tips, okay? So if you want to dominate as a nurse, I have some things that you can do to help with that, okay? So the first thing is teamwork. You want to be a team player, okay? No matter how you feel about working with others, because I know some people have difficulties working with others. Sometimes nurses tend to try to be to themselves, especially a lot of the veteran nurses. A lot of times, which is what I've experienced, a lot of times, you know, they don't want to be bothered. You know, they kind of like stay off to themselves. But working in the nursing field is very hard. So you want to make sure you are always being a team player. Make sure you are always willing to extend a hand when you see a nurse in need to help them out, because you never know when you might need their help in return. And trust me, you are going to need some help at some point during your career, or, you know, at your place of employment, you know, with one of your patients or with anything. So just make sure you are always being a team player, and like teamwork is really, really big. No matter how we feel about it, it's really important in the nursing field. I mean, we can't do it all by ourselves, and we know nursing is 24/7. So just teamwork, you know. Always try to look out for your fellow nurses, and I will hope that they will try to look out for you. But if you are that person that's always trying to look out for your fellow nurses, trust and believe they're going to try to look out for you. So teamwork is the first thing. Second, you want to learn everything, okay? Now, this is the main one. I think in my short, I discussed after this one was voiced that I will be back to explain more about learn everything, because I know you probably like learn everything. Like, girl, but we are not going to be able to learn everything as it pertains to nursing. I know that. When I say learn everything, let me elaborate. So, at your place of employment, let's say you're a med-surg nurse, an ICU nurse, or an ER nurse. When I say learn everything, what I mean is, if it's something that you don't know about, try to learn about it. People tend to run from things that they don't know about, or that they never worked with, or they're not familiar with. Don't do that. Learn everything. If a patient comes to your establishment, your facility, your floor, and they have this piece of equipment that you don't know about, typically when that happens, you know, they have people that come in and tell you about the equipment or whatever. You may work with a nurse that know about the equipment, but most people don't know about the equipment. Ask questions. Get to know. Like, that's what I mean when I say learn everything. If a patient comes to your establishment and they have a wound vac on, you've never seen this wound vac before, you don't know how it's worked, you don't know how to operate it, that's okay. But when presented with the opportunity to learn something new about something new that you've never heard of, never been around, never seen, try to learn about it. That's what I mean when I say learn everything. So don't be afraid of those things that you have no clue about. Learn about it. Even if you have to just go look up stuff about it, just to kind of familiarize yourself with it. The last thing you want, usually if it's a patient of yours, they'll pretty much teach you about it, or, you know, they'll have a representative to come in and show you about it. But just make sure you try to learn everything when you are given the opportunity to learn about something new, or when you're given an opportunity to work with something new or a new piece of equipment, or even when people come in with diagnoses that you've never seen. Like, I've seen patients come in and they have diagnosis for stuff you have never heard of before, never seen, never heard of. Try to learn about it. We have Google these days, so you could Google and learn about a lot of stuff, or just to familiarize yourself with it. A lot of times these patients, when they have diagnoses that we never heard about, they can tell you more about them than one of your coworkers can, so that's what I mean when I say learn everything, y'all. If given the opportunity to learn something about something new that you don't know about, that's on your floor or in your facility, or at your place of employment, learn about it. So that's what I mean when I say learn everything. Don't be afraid. Don't run from it. Next up, ask questions. Always ask questions. I don't care what it is. Like, no question is a dumb question. Just always ask questions. And this kind of goes back to the learn everything. If you have a nurse that's taking care of a patient, and that patient, got something different going on that you don't know about, like, try to learn about it. You can go to that room with that nurse. Go help that nurse. This goes back to teamwork as well. Like, go help that nurse, because that will help with your knowledge, with learning about whatever it is or whatever that patient got going on. But you want to always ask questions if it's something you don't know about. Ask questions if it's a piece of equipment that you never worked with. Make sure you ask questions. When you don't ask questions and you don't know about something, that's when nurses tend to have problems, and they end up getting themselves in a world of trouble. So just make sure you always ask questions. Don't go bother stuff that you don't know anything about. If you're ever like floated to a unit and you don't know about something, just ask questions. You have to speak up. You have to be a voice for yourself. So just make sure you ask questions. So the fourth thing is you want to prioritize. Make sure you prioritize. Prioritization is a big part of nursing. So when you come in for your shift in the morning, or going for your shift at night, or whenever you go in for your shift, typically you would, if you're working on a regular nursing unit, I don't care if you're in long-term care, psych, when you come in, there's a report process that takes place. So you get report on your patients, and then you go on for your shift. So when you come in, that's where things start, okay? So you're going to get report for your patients. Make sure you're that nurse that come on time. Don't be that nurse that come 15, 20, 30 minutes late for your report, and then you expect the nurse that's going off shift, that's giving you a report, to tell you and basically give you like a thorough report on your people, because they're not going to do it. You may find a few nurses that'll do it, but don't always be that nurse that comes in late, because typically those nurses, that's who normally have like the crazy shifts, okay? So you want to come in, you want to get your report for your patients. After you get the report for your patients, and let me back up a little bit. When you get a report for your patients, make sure, especially if you're working in a med-surg setting, an ER setting, med-tele setting, if you're working in any type of hospital setting, make sure you do a bedside shift report. Go lay your eyes on your patient before the nurse that you're taking over from, before they leave, okay? But you want to get a report for your patients. That way you can prioritize your day. If you know you got a patient over here that's really critical, they got a lot going on, you're going to kind of focus more on that patient. I mean, you're going to focus on everybody, but you're going to kind of keep this patient as a priority on your radar, because they got something going on. So you really want to make sure you prioritize, and you can do that, as when you come in and you get report for your patients. Now, if you're in long-term care, you typically have a lot of patients, but even still, I don't care if you have 20, 25 patients working at a nursing home, long-term care. Make sure you go with that nurse to each patient's room and lay your eyes on that patient. Most of the times in long-term care, unless you're like a traveler or agency nurse, most of the time you work in there and you know those patients. So basically all it takes is, to go in and they tell you how that person did for the day. If they got anything going on, move on to the next. But you want to make sure you lay your eyes on your patients with the nurse that you are taking over from. But just make sure you prioritize, okay? Getting report is very essential to making sure you have a smooth shift. If you don't go and get bedside shift report, or let's say you don't get report at all, or you get a crappy report, it's going to be hard for you to prioritize because you're not going to know what went on with that patient during the day, what type of test they had, if they had, just anything going on. That's how stuff fall through the cracks in nursing. So just make sure you are on time, you are getting your shift report, and you are prioritizing your work and what your patients got going on. You prioritizing your patients by what they have going on, okay? So you want to make sure you prioritize. That will help you have an amazing shift. Like, I'm telling you, the people that always complain, it's always those people that they late, they come in, they taking a piss poor report, they don't want to go room to room, they want to sit down at the desk and get report. Those are the people that tend to have problems, and they can't prioritize according to what their patients got going on, okay? And last but not least is time management. Time management is really, really big in nursing as well. That also goes back to the last thing that I just voiced, which is prioritization. With prioritization, you also want to, that also allows you to see what you need to do as far as time management. I do have a guide that I will post and share with you all on how to prioritize your shift. Now, it's going to be different for each area, but it's just a general guide. You can kind of tweak it to how you like it, but you want to have good time management. People that don't have good time management, they tend to get behind. Those are always those nurses that, nursing is 24 hours. And some days you may have stuff going on where you may have to stay over a little bit, once your shift is over to kind of finish up some things. But the nurses that have poor time management, that's the nurses that's always got to stay over. Every day at the end of their shift, they still doing stuff. That's the nurse that's always not ready to give you a report when you come in. That's because they got bad time management skills. Like I said, there's going to be times where you get caught up and you're going to have to stay over. But when it's repetitive, it's consistent, you always that nurse that, well, I'm not done, I got to stay over. Or you come in and, like I said, they're not ready to give report. That's poor time management. So you want to get yourself a system, and that way you can have good time management. You know when your patients get their breakfast, when they get their lunch, when they get their dinner, when they have certain testing or appointments and stuff. And even if you don't know, let's say you come in for work and your patient got an appointment, but you don't know the time of the appointment. Usually there's a secretary or something. Maybe they have a procedure. You don't know what time that procedure is. Now with procedures, sometimes they'll just come up and get that patient. But if Miss Johnson is having a procedure today, just make sure you kind of get her stuff out the way. That way when they come up to get her for her procedure or whatever she got to get done is done. Your stuff is out the way. So you just want to make sure you have good time management skills. And I know that's not something that everybody is strong in, but like I said, once you've been working on a unit or you've been working at a facility or something, you tend to know how the day pretty much runs. So you just got to kind of just set yourself a schedule. You know what time they get meds. You can give your medications an hour before and up to an hour after. Now, some of these hospitals, I worked at some hospitals where they allow you 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after. But pretty much when your patients get meds, if you do these 5 things, that is something that can help you dominate as a nurse. Once you get used to it, you get in a routine, it's like it's natural for you. Every day you come in, I won't say every day, But majority of the days you come in, you're gonna have a smooth shift. You're gonna know how to prioritize your patients when something's not going on. You're gonna ask those questions. Like all this stuff, a combination of all these things that could help you dominate as a nurse. It really can. So that is it for this video. I just wanted to give you all some tips to help you all on your journey as a nurse. These are some things that help me. I'm a big procrastinator, so but as far as work, like I pretty much have good time management skills and I prioritize, as I should. These are some things that you can do that can help you. And guess what? This stuff is not hard. Like it's transferable. So if I don't care what you do. I don't care if you a realtor, you a Walmart cashier, you housekeeping, you work in dietary. I don't care what area you work in. You could be a school teacher. This stuff will help you. These 5 things that I just listed will help you regardless of what area you work in. So I won't keep going on and on. That is it for this video. If you have some things that you would like to mention that I didn't mention, just make sure you comment those down below. I would love to have your input on things that you do in your work that help you dominate as a nurse. But like I said, that is it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Consider hitting that notification bell so you're notified anytime I upload a video. And that is it for this video, you guys. Make sure y'all thumbs up the video if y'all like this type of content. I have a lot of stuff in my notebook for you guys that I would like to share with you all. But that is it for this video, you guys. Bye.